So, you understand the character, beloved by many people, quite a hero, and then you went to one of the most over-the-top characters in the entire series of heroes.
It was all those repressed feelings. Well, I'd been in Dirty Sexy Money before Fringe, playing this spoiled brat over the top who sang naked all by myself. And then went to do Fringe, and yes, the characters were very reserved because they were FBI agents. And then Greg Berlanti, who was involved with Dirty Sexy Money, gave a call and said, I'm doing a new show. Yes, you haven't even heard what the show is yet. I need a job, Fringe agent. So he said, it's a Joker type role, which I was like, okay. That was immediately intensely scary. And they said he's the Count, and so I immediately went on Wikipedia, was looking him up, and I was like, a German? He's like descended from German royalty, and he has powers of his mind. I was like, whoa, this is awesome, I gotta work on my German accent. And then, no. They explained that they were adapting things, making things more real, putting them in the real world. And the problem that I had was they started shooting the show, but I hadn't seen anything, it hadn't aired yet. So I didn't know the world that I was getting into yet. So all I knew was Joker type role, come to Vancouver. And so I got the script and it was really cool. And what you saw was actually made a little milder. It was a little more intense and a little more sickening, I think. A lot more bloody too, I think. But when I went there, I went with like multiple versions of the character. And we had the super over-the-top version. And then I could see the director was really scared. She was like, okay, thanks. Let's try it again, maybe a little milder this time. So we ran the whole spectrum of everything. And ultimately, Greg liked the flamboyant, over-the-top Count, which I was really glad about.
The Count has really high self-esteem.
He's got
he loves himself.
Yeah, he loves himself, and he loves aggressive dubstep music. So that's what I'd listen to in between takes. It's the most fun I've had playing the part because in between scenes, I would just put my headphones on and just like rock out.
Oh, is that what you were doing? I just thought you were an asshole.
I'm sure John will enjoy this, but
doesn't want to hang out. He's just like bobbing his head on the
gotta focus.
It was something about Arsehole John.
Arsehole John!
But to get into the Count, the way I work, I like to know where the character's center of gravity is, all that kind of stuff, and the Count is very much in his groin. And so I found John. So I called up John. I said, John, how do I get into my groin?
Let me show you.
And he said, I'll show you. Come to Palm Springs. There's no security.
Oh yeah. Maybe the Count and Merlin should meet at some point.
Now, we all know that Stephen isn't here, and DragonCon, you understand, Labor Day weekend is a prime reshoot and shooting season for TV series.
Yeah.
We understand that. But we do have a tradition when people cancel last minute, is we open it up to anybody on the panel to say things embarrassing about the people that did not show up.
Stephen is not very easily embarrassed, I'll say that right off the bat. And I remember when I did accept the job the first time, and I have to tell this story before to the other panels who come to see me, but I'm sure some of you have not heard this yet. When I first accepted the job with Andrew and Greg and everybody on the phone, and I'm one of those people, didn't hear it from the security guy. I actually, told him to hold for a minute while I went and got my DC encyclopedia that's next to my bed. Because I am a nerd, and on the other side, Scott has the Marvel encyclopedia. And I took it out, and I'm starting to look at the history with that world and Malcolm Merlin and blah, blah, blah. And then I realized with Arrow, and then I quickly, as I'm on the phone with them, and they're talking, and I'm listening, and I'm online, and I'm Stephen Amell, and I'm like, shit. Scott, look at this. So I look at it, and I said, I'm happy to do it, guys. One condition, you give me a scene where I'm in it with him, and he's naked.
Did you really say that?
I did. And that's why that last sequence, when I pull the hood off of him and go, oh no. The next scene, in the next episode, is him chained. With his top off, because Andrew came to me and said, "There's your gift." So,
Does Stephen know any of this?
oh no, of course he knows, I've told him. He knows I would drop to my knees in a second for that boy. Wait a minute. To pray? You dirty-minded people. Here's the sequence. He's hanging.
Yeah.
We're doing a take. And I didn't, again, you know, my little jokes and stuff, and I didn't tell him at one point, and I said I'm supposed to walk in, go up to him, stand far enough away from him, because he and I discussed, if I was too close, you know, Oliver would, or the arrow, you know, the arrow would whack him in the head with his
Do you
forehead.
want me to play Stu?
So I walk in and I do a bit of the dialogue. But I believe it was. So I walk in and I'm supposed to just look at him and say something, and this is what happened on the take. And he was chained up like, can't get me. So,
Does CW not do a sexual harassment seminar? Because I know all the other networks make you.
I've had all those sexual harassment things, but you know, oh well, life is life. Anyway, that's my little.
I gotta say, since I joined the show, and I went to do the show the first time, and I went back and I was like, babe, I need to hire a personal trainer. And I have not worked out more since I've done this show.
Oh,
because
really?
the people on the show are ripped and jacked, and you hear all the people, you know, hooting and hollering, and you're like, I'm not some of that.
There's a theory that there's a pod that the CW keeps where they grow beautiful people. And this is the result. Now, John, you brought up Scott. You know that you got married a couple of weeks ago.
Oh my gosh.
And
Legalized gay.
from being the true nerdy fanboy that you claim you are, instead of a proper honeymoon, they've been doing the concert and meeting fans. They have not had a proper honeymoon. No, Atlanta, the capital of the South, where people have a reputation for being close-minded. I think we're going to get rid of that today. On the count of three, I'll let everybody say congratulations to John and Scott. Okay? 1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
We almost got you a card, but you ripped on somebody yesterday at your panel for getting a card for being cheap. So we decided to give you
Oh, that's so much better.
Southern
That was Scott.
It wasn't Scott. Like, you know, we have gas and paper too. So we remember that. No, the Southern Hospitality, we thought this is a gift.
That's great.
All right, so get ready if you have questions. Talk to the two people in the red lanyards.
Does nobody else have a Stephen embarrassing story?
Oh,
I have been embarrassed. I keep listening. Stephen is very strong. He's not just one of these people that, there's like a lot of Hollywood actors that are naturally skinny, so then when they work out, all their muscles just kind of pop, right? And I just come from True Blood land where everybody's also has 18 abs. It's crazy. And they're all 6'18". It's really but our last episode together, we finally do it. So, but CW style, and also coming off. And by the way, remember he was on Hump. We met the first time Stephen and I met, we were at Comic-Con together, and we were talking about getting naked and doing it HBO style. So again, they're like, oh, well, what did you go through? Oh, this one. And then so I went up there, and but then we had to kind of do it CW style, which is basically like, oh, we make out, and then I'm lowered onto the bed, and then it kind of pans to the shoes or something. And, listen, this man.
To the Jimmy Choo.
Yeah. We're at the edge of the bed, and so I've decided that he's going to basically pick me up and lower me onto the bed. But listen, I'm not a little thing, okay? I'm like a person who has muscle and meat on their bones. He picked me up. You know how you pick up a child, like by their shoulders, like. This guy picked me up like I was nothing, and I loved it.
It just makes me want to work out more.
It was embarrassing for me because I was like, hey, Bessie. How cool. It's focused and rooted in the scene. I'm an actor, a professional.
Mono, I know you have to have something, because he's Canadian. You can pick
Oh yeah.
Oh, you know, it's different on the island. I don't know, you guys do nipple tweaking and flying back on beds and it goes to the Jimmy Choos.
But for a while on the island, there were only men.
I'll be there. With the Jimmy Choo.
Remember how I disarmed him with that pistol? That'd be a whole new thing with John Barrow.
Don't give him ideas, really.
But yeah, you know, I've got nothing on Bill, but I will say
It's
this.
just really annoying that we don't have that much journal.
Oh, come on, he can't be that good of a guy. There's got to be something.
No, really, he's honest to goodness. And the one, and I said this on the Arrow panel at Comic Con. I'm kind of thrilled, and I'm not saying this to boost my ego or anything, but Stephen came to me in the very beginning when we started, and he was talking to me a lot about being the leader of the pack of the group, of the group that, because with Torchwood, I was the main guy in the show, and the responsibilities that you have on those shows. And one of the things is to keep things going, keep it moving, keep energy and morality up. You keep the morale of everybody up.
Yeah.
And for him, this is how he is he is a genuinely nice guy. He cares about everybody, from the guy who sweeps the set to the guy who, to the cameraman, to everybody else on camera. And he is concerned about everybody there. So he's a genuinely lovely man. And if anything doesn't embarrassing happen to him, he'll laugh at himself a little bit. So he is a really nice guy. And I know we were joking about all the other stuff, but he spoke to me before, and he is genuinely sorry that he cannot be here. And we should, understand that it's a busy, busy life. I know what it's like when you're playing the lead in a big show. So
Yeah.
we love you, Stephen.
Yeah. Big guy.
Is that thunder?
Well, we are in the state that does have storms in California, where some of us live. All right, so
I have one thing about
we're
Stephen.
not like
I
15
have
wait.
one thing about Stephen that's actually anti-embarrassment, and that's the fact that our show's called Arrow. And on the island, there's this stuff. See, what happens when you make a program is anything that's dangerous kind of gets eliminated by either stunt guys or safety protocols, right? And Stephen has been this, adamant sort of leader to make sure that all of the things, me coming off Spartacus, one of the strong things about our show was that we just made sure that we were this close all the time to reality, to make it look really great for the audience, And Stephen's got his heart in it, and I have a lot of respect for him for that. Whenever he's got to shoot the arrow, they'll say, okay, it's got to be replaced by, you can't shoot the arrow, and he's standing there with a bow on just his hand, he's going, I can't do this, I need the arrow. He really pushes for the reality of this show, so that's something that he doesn't want to be embarrassed with this role. I take my hat off to him for wanting to bring it to you guys.